Let's take you back to Sandton, where commitments including financial investments have been made by big business at the Buy Local Summit towards an effort to bolster localization. That's where we find my colleague Tumisang Ndlovu, who is standing by. Earlier, coming from the President, a reduction in terms of barriers into entry, a reduction of red tape, not new promises.
Absolutely, do not new promises as we heard the President give his keynote address earlier today. But what stands out in the proceedings from the morning is the commitments that have been made by private business, speaking to the need for private-public relationships when it comes to localization. And of course, that also speaks to business confidence. We are joined now by the CEO at PG Bison, that is Gerard Victor, to talk more about these commitments. Gerard, thank you so much for your time. These commitments are a big deal, especially when we talk about business confidence. Does this mean that there is that trust with the current government as well as the economic landscape to at least be on the same page on this issue?
Yeah, I think first of all, let me just say, PG Bison has been around for more than 120 years. We've always been committed to proudly South Africa and being a South African company, 100% wholly owned South African company. So PG Bison, when we say we're going to do something, we execute on that. As I just presented this morning, we just completed a big investment we made in Mpumalanga Mkondo district. And we also committed to another big project that we embarked on and started off, in fact, in this week, of another 2 billion rand that we're investing in the industry that we play, that's committed to support local manufacturing and the furniture master plan, as well as the forestry master plan. So PG Bison is committed, and I must really commend that the DTI government, local governments, we always got great support from them, and that's why we are able to execute on what we promise.
PG Bison is a practical example of localization, manufacturing, and as well as job creation for a number of years in South Africa. How do you see the removal of red tape as well as building a conducive environment for economic growth, boding well for other businesses to grow at an exponential rate as you have?
Yeah, look, it obviously will help. Red tape is still quite a barrier for new business, and especially for new guys that comes into the arena, especially when we go down to value add, taking our products and develop it into big box furniture manufacturing, for instance. If we can overcome that, it will help to create jobs a lot quicker. But even if we take our own turf in PG Bison, when we make large investments like we do right now, that downstream job creation is enormous. We employ directly quite a lot of people in these investments. But in forestry in general, that when you go back in the value chain, that's where the real jobs are created. And there's so much opportunity there. And PG Bison has always been in the forefront, and we're willing to work with government so we can unlock those opportunities. Because we must remember, where we operate normally and where the forestry is in our country is in the rural areas where there's no other employment. And there we make a huge difference where we operate.
I'm interested in the part about opportunities that you create, particularly in the rural areas where job creation is concerned, because those opportunities are exactly what's needed. There's been an argument that South Africa as an economy may not have too much really in terms of new opportunities to develop. Your view on that?
No, I think there's still more opportunities that can be unlocked. Obviously, we operate, we run our businesses, and we take care only on the core business on our side. We love to outsource non-core assets or non-core jobs. We outsource to SMMEs and local guys that just come up, entrepreneurs that do business with us. We've got great examples of that, and I can come up with one. If you go to Ilungdini district municipalities in Yugi and Mthatha, Maclear area, we made such a big impact on the lives of those communities and the people in those areas. You can't count for it. It's really so huge. But it goes beyond even where we operate. The huge opportunity sits really in the ED markets, your enterprise development, and your township markets. There we play a massive role to uplift and skill and train people to use our products and to manufacture furniture, manufacture kitchens and all that. There we have enormous growth in how we see the new guys are coming through the business and starting to do their own thing. So there's massive opportunities still out there.
A practical example in PG Bison of how much there is opportunity still within the South African space in terms of economy, and finding pockets of greatness where we can capitalize on to realize this dream and this agenda of the so-called localization that is aimed at seeking to create jobs.
Tumisang, Ndlovu, thank you very much for that report.